I've had to deal with 3 very upset sons and several Mackhams who somehow have my number deciding to bombard me for the last 24 hours.
Have the new players made us a better team? Alanga, Voltemada, Wissa, Ramsey, have they made us a better team?
I think Newcastle, the fans is really faithful fans. Eddie got a little bit more credit in Newcastle.
And everybody keeps telling me about, you know, the game's changed. It's doing me head in. I'm fed up with it in. The game's changed. And we should have done it with... We should have held him to ransom and said, you know what? You've signed your contract. Shove it. You're staying. You are staying until we decide to let you go.
Well, hello you, and welcome to the latest episode of Adopted Geordies. We are recording this with heavy hearts. We're recording this on Monday, the day after the day before. Don't really want to discuss it, but we feel we have to. We have to have a proper deep dive into what's happened and what will happen moving forwards. Now, I'm pleased to tell you that you don't just have myself ranting and raving about that travesty yesterday. No. Thankfully, we have the captain, the main man, Mr. Rob Lee, the legend himself. He's here giving us his expert analysis, but we also have 2 other legends of the game and friends of the show who know Newcastle United inside out, giving their view as well, because we're not going to hide from this. We're not going to pretend everything is rosy or that we are immune to what's happening online and the outcries from the fans. We see it. There seems to be a split. I'm not sure if it's 50-50 or higher. There is a large amount of people, specifically online at the moment, calling for Eddie out. He has to go. It's disgraceful. These are the sort of things we're seeing. And then there's the more balanced view saying, well, hang on a minute. Give him the summer. He's our most successful manager for 70 years. He's given us so many good times. He's a brilliant human being and he will get it right. And those are the scales that we are weighing up at the moment. So not just Rob's opinion today, we're also going to be hearing from the manager of Pakistan, former wing wizard himself, Mr. Nobby Solano, and of course one of our favourites on the show, John Beresford, who was at the game yesterday as well at St James's. He's going to be giving us his view. Oh, Rob.
It's depressing, isn't
I don't want to be here. I'm happy to be here.
I wore a black top for it, honestly.
Oh,
it's depressing.
dear. Tell us about it, Rob. Tell us where you're at. Where's your head at?
After what happened in Barcelona, I thought it was a great game coming back up for us for playing in the derby. So I thought we'd go on and win comfortably. I said it before, and especially when we got the goal early. Gordon got the goal and we pressed them high. And we got our goal, and then I thought we're going to go on and win this 2 or 3-0. Probably, I said 3 or 4-0 because I thought
You were very confident last week.
I thought first half I thought we were really, really good, really, really good. I mean, again, similar to Barcelona, we came out with the second half and we just looked like we had no legs. It looked like we had no ideas, and we let Sunderland have. We didn't press them. We let them have space, and I said at the start of the season, oh, glad Sunderland come on. That's 6 points for us, and Sunderland have actually they took 6 points off us. So
the game was brutal, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it just wasn't like a second half, especially. It just wasn't a derby for me, you know.
I've from a very personal perspective, I've had to deal with 3 very upset sons and several Mackhams who somehow have my number deciding to bombard me for the last 24 hours with all the usual. I'm sure
you have to take it. You have to take it.
You do have to take it. They were the better side. I mean, the first game at theirs was just an abysmal game of football from both sides, to be honest. And this time last week, I said I thought Sunderland played horrible football. I sort of stand by that, but you corrected me and said, well, hang on, maybe most teams are playing horrible football. And after what we saw yesterday, I thought 10, 15 minutes in, Rob's wrong. We're playing lovely football.
Yeah, we were.
And then 16 minutes in, we weren't. We just sort of fell apart again. And it just sort of... The desire, the passion, the talent, the ability, it just everyone seemed to be arrested. They seemed to.
I think it's more than. I said I thought first half. I thought we did really well. Again, we had little lulls and stuff, but I still thought we could have had. And that's their problem. We don't seem to kill teams off.
But that's been the case all season. Yeah, that's exactly. The trouble.
Well,
it's not just yesterday
with the team with Eddie Howe's teams. We don't see us. I've seen it a couple of times. I think I saw it at Spurs last season when we actually. Got 1, got 2, got 3. Do you know what I mean? You think, wow, this is we obviously saw it in the European game against a lesser team, but we in the Premier League we get a goal in front, and then we seem to sit back.
It seems to be the worst thing for all.
Yeah, we sit back a little bit. We don't press them again, and then they get back in and they get in a goal, and all of a sudden the heads go. I just like when we go at teams, go at them and get. I mean, when Keegan would used to say to us, listen, go at them as soon as the the crowd's behind you for the first 10, 15 minutes, go at teams. And we used to get 1 up, 2 up, 3 up. And by half time, the game was over. It was over, really. And that's what I like to see us doing. Like, we got a great goal.
Well, that's the thing that really surprised me. Gordon's goal was brilliant. A nice assist from Voltemada to rob the player, and with that instant first time pass to Gordon. But Gordon had a lot of work to do in the box there.
Good finish.
Had to really, what a finish. And I said to one of my lads, I was like, we're going to go and kill him. This is going to be brilliant. We're going to give him a proper hiding. It's going to be 5-0 again. And it wasn't, 5-1 actually. They did the Kevin Nolan hat-trick one game, wasn't it? They did get one at the end. But I thought we were going to absolutely blitz it. And we just didn't. And all the play just seemed to peter out, all of our ability. I mean, War Flags did everything. The atmosphere was amazing. The visuals of St James's Park before the players came out was absolutely staggering. I mean, it was breathtaking. It was brilliant. Can't say that for what happened on the pitch.
No, and you wonder why. I mean, did he? I'm sure Eddie's, got it into their heads. This is a Sunderland. This is a local derby. We haven't had one for a while. It's in the top league at St James's Park, and you think, well, they must know how important it is. If they didn't know how important it is, they do now, because they are for the first time, and Eddie as well, for the first time probably since he's been there, has started getting now a little bit of pressure, and that comes from success, because with success comes expectations, and so the more successful you are, the more that the fans want it to go on, and they want it. You want to get better this season, and better and better and better. And sometimes, at the moment, from winning the cup a year ago now, we haven't got better. We haven't got better.
It has felt like downhill from there, hasn't it? And that's my question to you, Rob. Before we get Nobby on and then Bez, just a quick one, and that is. And I mean to put this carefully, because I want everyone to know how much I love the club, and my goodness, I respect Eddie Howe. We've had him on the show. I think he's an absolute. I love him to bits, and for me, he's got huge credit in the bank, and continues for me to be the man to do the job. But my question is, it's not actually about Eddie, Rob. It's about the team, this current squad of players, the legends from Wembley almost a year ago. Well, in fact, more than a year ago now, the cup winners who were iconic in the bus parade, and they'll be forever tattooed on many people's bodies and so on. Those legends, that team, is that team finished now? Because we've lost a certain Swede, and certain players are getting older and so on. Is it time now to start again? Do we have to scrap
For me, that was just a year ago. The way I look at it is, once we won the cup, and have the new players made us a better team? Have Alanga, Voltemada, Wisser, have they made it? Ramsey, have they made us a better team? No. So their signings so far are not successful signings. So whoever's
Ramsey's getting there. I mean,
well, no, he's been
last
few games he's been good, but don't forget we're in March.
Yeah,
he was 40 million. So we expect him to be at least where he is. I do, because he looks a bloody good player.
Yeah,
we haven't seen because our midfield is our strongest department. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's our strongest department. I still think Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton is the strongest midfielder in the Premier League. So it's difficult to get in there. I understand that, but Wisser and Voltemada, have they made us better? No, that there is no question they haven't made us any better. So the signings the signings are questionable, and how much we paid for them. Listen, I understand that we lost our top striker very, very late, but I think we panicked buying. I think we bought Voltemada. Listen, he's a decent footballer. He's a good footballer, and I mean, he came in and done really, really well. But
he was quite strong in midfield yesterday.
But he's a midfielder.
Well, he's seemingly not a midfielder.
Well, he played midfield for Germany in the World Cup.
No, he won't.
Right.
No, he
is he? And I'm not saying he. The way we play, he's not a centre forward for us at all. So he's not what we need. We need his Sunderland centre forward. Big, strong,
so why haven't we adapted around Voltemada though? Because we've got enough, as you just cited our excellent midfield. We've got options on the wing.
That's what I'm saying. So he was never getting in our midfield.
No, but so why haven't we adjusted our shape and formation around him?
The question should be, why did we buy him? And I'm not questioning him, because he's a talented footballer. So I'm not questioning him. I'm not questioning him for the size of the 70-odd million quid we paid for him. But did somebody see him as a centre forward for us? Well, we had the same thing with Joelinton years ago. But the difference between him and Joelinton's now gone in the midfield, but he's powerful, he's quick, he's strong. all the things that I don't think Voldemort. He's technically very good, and he's 6'6", and I think for a big man, he's very good. But where do we play him?
Well, you say why did we sign him, Rob? So just to answer that one, because that's the only one I think I'm qualified to answer. We signed him because João Pedro said no, Liam Delap said no, Hugo Ekitike said no, Brian Mbuemo said no, Benjamin Sesko said no. You know, these were our top choices in sort of something like that order. They all said no, and suddenly there aren't many players available. Then there was Jonathan David, I think we were linked to, and people were like, no, absolutely not, can't have him. Nicholas Jackson we were linked to, and people didn't like that idea. We were linked to the lad that who was replaced, Darwin Núñez. We were linked to him, and he went off for colossal money elsewhere. So there weren't many players.
Well, I again, Brentford went and got a centre forward who's now scored. Who's top of the goal scoring.
Eddie in or out for you, Rob?
Oh, 100% in. 100% in, because he deserves that. You can't blame him for all that's going on. But this will be the first time that he's getting stick.
Yeah,
so I'd be really, really interested.
It's not the first time he's getting stick, Rob. There's always people. Previously they've been keyboard warriors, in my opinion. Previously they've been keyboard warriors that have had an agenda that just not into it. Now it's clear from the noise at St James's Park. There's now a lot of non-X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it fans, but sort of match-going fans that are starting to be aggrieved. Some of them, I think, he's going to have to do an awful lot to win them.
But now he's actually got to manage. He'll see how big this club is and how he has to manage it. Because I say, the majority for the last 4 years that he's been people loved him, liked him, think he knows what he's doing. Now they're questioning him. It's how he manages this club. All I know is, if he left this club, there will be top clubs coming after him.
Oh, for sure.
Top clubs. So that tells me, it's like when you're going for a footballer, when we're going for a player, like Whistle and even Whistle. Was there any other clubs going in for him?
Mm.
No, not as far as I'm aware. So and I know if Eddie Howe left or we got rid of him, he'd get a job tomorrow at a top club, because he's done so well for us. So no, I don't think he's for me. We keep him. We try and get people in to help him, because I think we've been rudderless for a long time at the top.
You're thinking the void that Amanda and Murdad left?
Yeah. He's my mate, but I think they should have got Alan Shearer in. Or someone, I said Kevin Keegan before that.
Rob Lee's another one. He'd do a job.
Well, but these people are icons. These are legends of our club. We need a figurehead. We need somebody. If Amanda is not here, which is gone, we need someone between the chairman, who we don't see a lot, and Eddie, and the team, and who can deal with all the transfers, can deal with everything. And for me, Keegan, who's not well, but an Alan is that sort of. Get immediate respect. Everybody knows he's Newcastle mad, and I think we lack somebody like that to actually,
like a sort of talisman.
Yes, that can get involved in everything, and he knows players, he knows football. He could deal with boardrooms, he can deal with the chairman, he can deal with go and see players, sign young players. So much that I think we missed out with him. I know I'm blowing smoke up his arse, but that's I've said it for a long time.
Yeah, no, mate. It's a great shout, and if anyone at the club is watching, and sometimes they do, why not give Mr. Shearer a ring? He would be a huge figure who could be amazing for us. Rob, let's get our headphones on and let's go and talk to our favourite Peruvian.
Oh, here we go.
And get his view as well on what's been going on. Okay, it's time to get an icon's word on what's happening at Newcastle United. He was watching the game from afar. He is now a friend of the show, I'm delighted to say. The manager of Pakistan, and of course, the absolute hero that is Mr. Nobby Solano. Nobby, welcome to the show. We are doing what we were hoping we weren't going to have to do, which is picking the bones out of a dreadful defeat, a humiliation at St James's Park. You saw the game. What did you think of it? And more importantly, what do you think now this means for the team and indeed for Eddie Howe?
Well, first of all, of course, Lee much better than me, being in the club. When I arrived in Newcastle in the 1998, the first thing you need to understand, realize how important is the derby. So we got the opportunity to play the derby before, and I know what I mean for the fans, for everybody in the club. So these guys like Robbie, Alan, Warren Barton, got speed, all these guys. We need to make sure prepared for these matches, you know. Always it's special for the fans, for all the Northeast, as you know, all the Northeast support in Newcastle. So I believe they are really, really sad with these results. Honestly, I thought the Newcastle, we, even not playing that well, we still get good result. But honestly, they start quite well in the first half, 10, 15 minutes. But after that, it looked like Sunderland start to get confidence into the match. They start to play a little bit more football, and well, we see what we saw everyone. You know, we get beat.
Nobby, we've seen us capitulate in 2 games now in the second half against Barcelona and Sunderland. What? You're a coach. You're a manager. What do you think the problem is? We're running out of steam, running out of legs. What's the issue? Do you think?
Well, you know, Robley, we always talking about Newcastle. Eddie Howe's building a very physical team. You know what I see from here. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but you can tell the players he's signing. He always relieve. It has to be very, very, very. Very physical players. Run a lot,
Physical, yeah.
physical. You know that's why you can see when he set the teams. Okay, they put Gordon in front as a striker to the first man start to press, you know. When you play against Barcelona, teams like that, I believe it's quite suicide to go too high up to against this team because they are so good bringing the ball from the back, you know, building from the goalkeeper, from the back to attacking. So what I saw against Barcelona, they go in good position. They in the beginning of the match, they do fantastic 45 minutes, but you cannot handle
Yeah.
for 90 minutes, my friend. You cannot press for 90 minutes. And one point, you need to drop a little bit and be a little bit smart, Rob. It look like for me, the game is, if you not run for 90 minutes, like I need to go press all the time, it's not anymore. I mean, football. You know, you need to sometime part of the game. Somebody need to give a shout, get the team. Come on, we no can press for 90 minutes like this, and that's why Newcastle look a little bit tired. You know.
Yeah, keep the ball. Keep someone put their foot on the ball like in the old days and keep the ball and play. But to be fair, Nobby, I understand at Barcelona, but even against Sunderland the second half we got battered. So, and they're not Barcelona.
Yes, I'm agree, Rob. I'm agree. Honestly, I was quite impressed with the number 9 from Sunderland. This
Yeah,
guy,
he was very good, very good.
unbelievable, Rob. You know how Newcastle no can find players like this. It's a typical number 9.
Exactly, Nobby.
He holding so well. It was the guy battle Bowman and the Burns. You know they dominating all the bloody situations and the score. But like I'm saying, I don't know. Even I try to understand what this Germany guy playing in the midfield all the time. Hard to me to say. Remember his surname. The mid is playing in the midfielder, Rob. You know,
Valdemar, yeah.
Waterman. This guy. How
Yeah.
is try to understand why
Yeah.
Eddie, you have a lot of midfielders in the bench, but prefer to a striker to play just in the line, in the that 4 line with Joelinton, you know, with Burns and the Langa. So it's quite strange, you know. But well, I mean, it's easy probably after the match, Rob, to criticize because we're in the same game at the moment. But
Yeah.
it's hard to understand, you know, why Newcastle with Eddie Eddie been in the club for so long. Why not? It's hard for him to find a proper footballer, Rob, in the midfielder. That's why you know what I mean. All the midfielders go great energy, boys. They run. Even Joelinton for me, Joelinton never been midfielder. Joelinton for me was a striker, considered to be a midfielder. So
Yeah.
it's quite hard to understand all. I don't know why Newcastle has issues with all the money they got in the club now. You can find a good, I don't know, like Bruno, like Tonali. I believe Newcastle need another couple players like this, you know?
Nobby, just before you go, and thank you for joining us all the way from Pakistan. We really do appreciate it. Do you believe that Eddie is now in trouble?
I tell you, I think Newcastle, the fans is really faithful fans. I know everybody's angry after the Sunderland defeat. I believe everybody won't be happy, but Eddie got a little bit more credit in Newcastle. What he done, won the Carabao Cup, and I think, I don't know, it's a new owner, but the new owner, I don't know, because this guy never speak. I don't know how his ideas. It look like he's quite happy with the club at the moment, you know. But Eddie, know this kind of results, any derby for any manager around the world, you put a little bit on the pressure if you don't have a good result.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough. Nobby, thank you so much for giving us your
Thank you,
opinion.
guys.
We
Have a
really,
good
we
night.
really appreciate
Cheers,
it.
Nobby.
The one and only John Beresford is here as well. Although, John, from the looks of your camera, we've basically just got. You could be anyone at the moment. You're in silhouette. We've just got your windows. Yeah,
Get away from the light. Come away from the light.
you need that.
What do you mean, get away from a life? Not better.
You need no. You
Oh, no,
you needed the
Nobby-
other way.
Nobby was
There it
better,
is.
yeah.
There he is.
There he
Yeah,
is.
better.
Nobby's done
Right.
it easier than you, and he's all the way in bloody
I know, that's what
Pakistan,
I'm saying, but
honestly.
technical's not my thing. And this, I've had to do it on my missus's phone. I mean, he just spat. He was trying to get on your podcast, and I thought you'd taken a mick and spitting me back out. I know where I am in the pecking order. I know Sabilano, Nobby comes be way before me. I understand that. But you do not dare put Shearer on before me. I'll go with Nobby, but not Shearer.
Nobby's a manager and a coach now, so we value his opinion.
He does know his stuff. Yeah. Now, what do you want to know?
Obviously, you was at the game. What was the atmosphere like after that game?
Sickening. Really was. Everybody was confused, can't understand it. Another word, flabbergasted. They were angry, frustration, everything. They couldn't get their head around it. And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't. I said we'd win the game. I was doing the lounge. I thought we'd win 4-0, 4-1. I fancied us big time. I thought we'd bounce back. We had so much to prove because of the previous game. And then, but just coming off a bad result against Barcelona, that's a different animal altogether. They got schooled second half, but I just felt the players would have just gone. Well, you know what it's like. You know when you're hurt, the game can't come quick enough next.
Yeah.
You know, to prove a point, and to be out fought, in a derby, I didn't think I would ever see that at St James's Park.
But we started really well, didn't we? We started. I thought. Same as you, I thought once we got our first goal early on, I thought we'll get 3 or 4.
I did,
and then the second half was just an absolute shambles again.
and that was the confusion because it was set up right. You've got your lead; they're going to have to come out at some point. You can now sort of like you can pick and choose how you want to play, and it was play on the front foot, play on the high tempo. You are going to get chances, and the pace just dropped. They looked absolutely knackered. But that's, to me, that cannot be an excuse, not in the modern day game, with and especially when you're playing a derby. Robert, I couldn't believe it. It was no disrespect. I hate to pick players out and be that.
But you're gonna.
I am now. Volta Marder is not a midfield player. Oh, come on.
No, just saying, Nobby. No chance.
I don't
He
want
can't
to.
play
He's
that
just
midfield.
he's out of his depth, and he shouldn't be saying that. So I know he's. I don't like judging on finances because you should just judge on a player, and I am. But because the amount they paid for him, you're kind of going, well, what is he? He's definitely not a centre forward, and he's definitely not a midfield player.
Yeah.
But they keep playing him there. Work that one out.
And yet, strangely, he was one of the better midfielders on display yesterday. It was his assist, his interception and assist to Gordon, which led to our opening goal, which was a very strong goal. And when he went off, we lost even more control of that midfield. It's not like Joey Willock, who replaced him, came on and lit the place up, is it?
That's what I'm saying. I could go on, and that's what I'm saying. But because of what we've bought to improve the squad, there's a lot of money being spent on that, and that's why I kind of brought that up. He's getting used, and I don't think it's his fault. I just don't think he's good enough, and he's being asked to do things that he's not good at. We can always go through. We could have gone through the team, as I said. Joe Linton. Okay, we know Joe Linton. It suits him more when he's got his mate outside of him, Bruno. And don't get me wrong, if you've got Tonali, all of a sudden you've got a different midfielder altogether. The midfield set as such. But with them two going out, it just left a void like you've never known. But I still thought we'd have enough to set up, and think, right, yeah, we can deal with this. Because no just disrespect. I mean, Xhaka is dictating a game, and I'm thinking to myself, come on, you're better than this. And I'm just thinking, I'm confused now. Because a derby is a derby, and the physicality should not really come into it. It should be about if everybody gives a right effort, and technically we're going to be better.
Can I ask you guys from players' point of view? Because like you guys have both alluded to a fact that we seemed lifeless after sort of 15, 20 minutes. We just seemed done in, exhausted and so on. But surely war flags set the scene brilliantly. But as the players walked out, that cacophony of noise from the fans, every flag on every seat, that enormous magpie that they had, the tifo and so on, surely the players got it. Surely they knew how big a deal this was. And surely Eddie would have had that in their heads. Or not? Do they not get it? I'm asking you two because you guys played. Surely they would get it, wouldn't they? Wasn't there enough there for them to realise how important this was?
He got it, but he weren't up for it, and that's a question you got to ask him personally. These little things, and I'm going to jump back, and it's like if we were in that game, and I felt that the game's going, I'd have been saying to Sir Rob and going, "Is there any danger you making a run forward?" You tell me any midfield player that actually went right. I'm going to run beyond. Never. That is just bewildering. You're at home. Stretch them. Make things open up. The game was, and for every winger, keep coming back and then finish up at centre half. It's doing my head in. It really is. And it gives. And the modern day player must think, oh, all those old dinosaurs. They must go, oh, listen to these churning on again. But they're giving us every reason to it. Technically, don't get me wrong, they're lovely and the game's pretty, but not when you're playing in Derby. It's a totally different animal. Your approach to it's different. How you play it is different. You know, you've got, and as you just said there, the crowd were up for it. They were desperate for it. They couldn't wait for the game to start. And as I say, from like the 45 minutes that I went over to Barcelona, and I also watched that 45 minutes there yesterday. And I'm like going, we are miles off. And I didn't think we were going to be. I thought we were getting closer to being that top six. But I just looked at the squad now and I'm going, right, no, it needs improving.
And what do you do, John? What do you do about that? Do you take a massive scythe to the playing squad in the summer and get rid of lots of players and have a massive overhaul? Do you change the manager? What are you doing? If I gave you the keys to the kingdom right now,
no, the manager's got to stay. Manager's got to stay. He's brilliant at what he's done.
I agree. Yeah,
but the recruitment has to be rejigged, right? Because they've got it wrong. That's how I see it. I think for me, Voltamada, Vissa, and Delanga, for me, I would go right fire sale if need be. You know, you get them out, move them on, and you bring in what you think is the next step. It hasn't worked, and just hold your hands up and go, that hasn't worked. And let's go for, you know, for me, as I say, you look at like the lad Ekatike at Liverpool. For me, he would have been the perfect centre forward because we are screaming for a centre forward.
What's key is for me is what John is saying is Eddie's not the problem here.
No,
he's saying the problem is the recruitment. Some of the players, in Bez's opinion, not fit for purpose, not fit for the black and white shirt. They might be superb at other clubs.
Yeah, but Eddie must have a say in who comes in. So you can't say Eddie's not. I don't want Eddie to leave because I think he's been brilliant. But he must be involved in the. There's no way that he's allowing after we've just won a cup, other people to pick his players for him. There might be a 2 or 3 people doing it, but he must get a say in it. So he has to take some of the responsibility and has to say these hasn't worked.
All right. So between the pair of you, if you're in charge of the summer recruitment, this is the key thing. Who has to stay? Who do we have to build the team around? Let's say you're picking 5 players that you cannot sell them the way we sold Isaac last summer, whatever money's coming in for them. No, they have to. That's who we build the club around. Who are they? John, who are your 5 that you would be keeping?
Right. Okay, then. Well, your 2 fullbacks, as in Lewis Hall and Livramento. Absolutely. I think we're going to need another centre half. So that's a buy. You need Bruno and Tonali. And then I'm thinking Gordon and Barnes. I think I've named 6 there, but they are your absolute thing. But the problem what we have is, think about that down the width and in the midfield we're all right. But a centre half and what I'm talking about, your spine and your centre forward, that needs improving vastly.
Yeah, interesting. And what's troubling there, Bez, is that if you listen to the papers, and that might be madness, but if you listen to the papers, Livramento's off to Manchester City. Sandro Tonali was linked with Arsenal in January and isn't making the right sort of noises about staying. Bruno's currently linked with Manchester United. I mean, those are 3 of the 6 that you said have to stay, and Gordon's perennially linked with Liverpool. So those are the worries, aren't they?
Yeah, they are worries, but they shouldn't be worries. And we should. And I'll tell you now what we should do. And the owners, we're not skinned. We've got the richest owners ever, but we've got his hands tied. You know, the PSR. What we need to do is, and we should have done it with Isaac. We should have held him to ransom and said, you know what, you've signed your contract. You know, shove it. You're staying. You are staying until we decide to let you go, and that should be happening with the Tonali. We've looked after Tonali with his gambling problems and everything else. And just because you have you've come back and had a great season, and then all of a sudden you just jump ship, no chance. They're all these lads. What you're talking about are all on long contracts. They ain't all got a year to go. So we haven't got to panic. You've just got to say, by the way, you're part of us. And as I say, when we're ready to let you go, and if you see your contract out, then you can go. I don't understand why we're going to get bullied into selling players.
I know. Listen, Bez. I know what you're saying. But to be fair, I've always said, you've always said the same as me. We don't want players that don't want to be here, do we?
You don't. Had that before. But sometimes you have to go. By the way, you're going to be part of something.
But if they don't want to stay, they don't want to live in the North East. They want to play for North. Which, by the way, we don't know.
No,
you know what I mean. As far as I see, what Bruno is, he loves the North.
I think Bruno's.
If they don't,
to stay.
then for me, it's if you don't want to play for this club, then we know what a great club it is, or what a great area it is, and we've had too many people be playing for this club that don't want to be there.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and it's just that I'm just getting fed up of that, just walking away for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but to get as much, if they want to go, right, okay, again, we'll hold you at ransom, we'll get as much money as we can, and you'll go where we want you to go, sort of thing, but we'll get our money in.
Yeah.
But you can't keep players that don't want to be here.
Bez, last one for you, because last one for you, Bez, because you were at St James's yesterday, and on the telly, it wasn't. They kept jumping to advert breaks and stuff at the end, didn't they, Rob? So the coverage at the end wasn't brilliant. But I've seen on social media from people that were at the ground filming when the Eddie and the lads did a lap of appreciation, as you called it. That sounded to me like there were an awful lot of bad blood. There was an awful lot of boos from particularly the Gallagher. Did you see that? Because you were there. Were you aware of that? Did you hear it yourself?
Yeah. The fans were stunned. They were angry. Like I said, they were frustrated. And do you know what? They had a reason to offload. And you know what? I as a player, you got to take it on the chin. And I actually said, I've gone into the lounges after. And, in fact, Griff was there, Andy Griffin, Lee Clark was there. There was a couple of them chatting away. And I just went, they've had it so good and they've been so good and they've took all the plaudits. I've given it. But all of a sudden, when the fans turn, because sometimes the fans, they applaud it because they've done so well. It's now, how are you going to cope with it? And that was one of my reactions. I was saying, now Eddie's going to find out what it is like to really, really manage Newcastle. Because when they turn, the fans, and it says it's not a nice place because the intensity is a lot more than you're used to. And the players, and I'm telling you now, once they scored the equaliser, I saw the players freeze. Not everyone, but I saw players go. And Rob knows what I mean by that is. It's like, I'm not saying they're hiding. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is they're not going, give me the ball as like than you would when you're 2-3-0 up. And that's when you show balls. Playing at St James's Park when you're winning, easy. Play St James's Park when you're getting beat, and especially against like your biggest rivals. That shows how much bottle you've got. That shows you if you're a brave player by saying, "Give me the ball again. I'll show you what I can do." And I thought to myself, there was a few players there they were a little bit rabbits in lights of thinking, I'm not used to this, I don't want to make a mistake. So they do the simple things. And then all of a sudden the game just pitters out.
Well, as you say, it was the first time that Eddie's even seen any sort of criticism, certainly against him, because he's been so good. Again, I remember the time when Keegan sold Andy Cole. Remember him coming out and actually speaking
standing on
to
the steps,
fans, which no one else would ever do. But he just that was the sort of person he is, and that's what we need Eddie to do now. That's he's never would have had any
Yeah,
criticism.
but there's a big difference, Rob, between selling one of your strikers and knowing you've got money to reinvest and losing 2 derbies
But he
in a
didn't have money
season.
to reinvest at the start.
Well, no, but
we
my
bought
point
Paul
is
Kitson for $2 million. So.
Keegan could come out and say, look, I've sold him for various reasons. Whereas what's Eddie going to do? He can only apologise for losing 2 derbies. Do you see what I mean? Whereas Keegan could say, I'm going to put this right because, yeah, I've sold a player, but I've still got all these great players. What's Eddie going to say? What he said so far is it's on me. We're not good enough. It's been a bad week.
We've still got great. We've got 6 in the England squad. 6.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know we've got Bruno, a Brazilian? We've got 2 Brazilian internationals.
Yeah.
We've got an Italian international. So we've still got brilliant players.
We've got 2 German internationals,
Wait.
Rob, and you really don't rate one of them. See what I mean? So it's not
No, but
neither does
we're a
Bez.
team full of internationals. That's so we have got great players.
Yeah.
We've got some great players. We only had 6 in since years.
No, it's fabulous.
We ever had 16 internationals.
And to be fair, in each case with the England lads, it's all on Eddie Howe. You know, Tino'd never had a call up. Lewis Orr, I mean, to be fair, these are young lads, but they'd never been called up to the senior squad. Anthony Gordon had never been called up to the senior squad. Dan Byrne had never been called up to the senior squad. Harvey had. He'd had one game, I think, a million years ago. Aaron Ramsdale had a long time ago. But all 6 of those can credit Eddie with reigniting the fire in their careers and
but also playing for a big club and being successful.
Yeah.
So they've also done it themselves. It's not just all down to Eddie. Listen, he's a good coach, and we know that he's done brilliantly. But the lads have obviously gone to a big club, playing for a big club, been successful winning the trophy last year into Europe, and that's what gets you noticed. And they've done brilliantly well to get into an international squad, if you like. So,
but the thing is, the gripe at the moment, it's on the back of losing to Sunderland and being humiliated in Barcelona. But it's not just that. It's a full season where we've taken the lead and thrown it apart. I think we have dropped more points from a winning position than any other team in the Premier League. Someone did the maths the other day. If we'd had those points, we'd be battling for second.
Yeah.
If we'd had all the points we'd won and then thrown away. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just, why can't we keep a lead?
That one does me. It is. It's like, you know, when you go, there's different ways to look at it, and you go, is it unlucky or whatever? I'm saying now that can be eradicated. I think on the training pitch, just lads talking and say, by the way, keep your shape. We know because it's happened that many times, and you think to yourself, surely there must be everything. To me, they're overcoached anyhow, but surely sometimes the players must feel it in the game and go, by the way, come on, let's just tuck in a little bit now. You know, just for literally 5 minutes, then we get on the ball and we'll go on the front foot again. That to me is just common sense. For someone on reasons,
but don't you also think
they panic? They're panicking.
Don't you? Yeah, don't you also think, Bez, when we get our first goal, I don't think we carry on and try and get the second like we did in the old days. Get the second, get the third, and the game's over.
No,
we seem to get a first goal as against Sunderland, and we treat and we sort of like sit back and then we'll break away on them again instead of actually going for the throat like we.
I haven't understood that at all, and I maybe very wrongly have made the connection between we used to be very high press, relentless, in your throat, really attacking football, and then this guy Steve Bunce came along, our head of performance or director of performance or whatever, who we were told some of the headlines were very much like he's going to be in charge of managing the injuries. Because to be fair, when we were playing that very high intense football, we were the most injured side, I think, in across all the 5 divisions. You know, we were getting loads of injuries. At one point, we had 17 first teamers unavailable. You know, so we were getting lots of injuries, couldn't sustain. But this guy's come in and we've had a lot fewer injuries and supposedly, and that's credit to him for that. But I wonder if part of the reason why we've had fewer injuries is we're not playing as intensely. And that's because of Steve Bunce saying, you can't do that. The trouble is, when we were doing that, it was working. It was working.
Yeah,
I loved watching our high press.
Yeah.
Take your injuries.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way we're going to play. Yeah.
The thing is, when you play at St James's Park, it's set up that way. It doesn't suit you. It doesn't suit you to sit and hold on. It really doesn't. And I think the players we've got are suited to go for it. And this is why I'm saying that. Am I giving them an excuse? They're knackered. It has caught up with them. They've been playing over the last couple of months. Well, probably last 6 weeks. You know, it's 2 games a week. because they're a victim of their own success. You know, being in the FA Cup, the League Cup.
Didn't we used to do that? No.
Yeah,
Did we
but
used
this
to
is
do
what I'm
that?
saying. But this is what I'm saying. Then, if they come out as an excuse and say I'm tired, then get somebody who isn't. Then I just think, and me and Rob will tell you, I don't get sort of like when they say, oh, they have this monitor on them. They say, no, they're training too hard. Their heart rate's going up. I'm sorry. A player knows what he can and can't do, and you've got to give him his head. Let him know what he wants to do. When we were playing, Rob, and like you said, we didn't have the massive squad. And I look at it, I think we're running. I think we ran more then because I watch the games now. It's stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. It's not as though the game's going end to end because it doesn't. As soon as somebody touches somebody falls over and it's a free kick anyhow. So the thing of it is, it has to be a unison of all the players going right. Are we all know what we're doing now? If we scored, right, okay then, right, let's go and win it. In the next two, well, it's like I said, let's two fucking breakdowns. We are going to win this ball, and then we're going on the front foot. There's never a better time to attack someone. It's when you've just scored. I'm same as you, Robert, but
Exactly.
I keep thinking to myself, am I missing something here? And everybody keeps telling me about, the game's changed. It's doing me head in. I'm fed up with it in. The game's changed. The game's changed.
Well, let me ask you.
Go on, you can ask me any question. I'll tell you because the stupid things like that. I mean, but even Sunderland, how stupid were they? All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to play out from the back. They played into his hands. We go 1-0 up, and then we go. Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll do now. We'll then commit suicide. Let's drop off now and let's give Sunderland a bit more confidence. And I'm going, oh yeah, of course the game's changed. That means these people in there, either players on the pitch or the coaches, are getting it wrong, and us old gits up here going, are we stupid? Because we're not.
See, he's on one there.
I was on a rant.
You've wound him up, Rob.
I apologise.
Well,
Love it, Bez. Love it.
No, Bez, we really do appreciate your time. And I mean, my question really, my last one, frankly, is this. We have 7 games left of this season, which is nothing. 3 at St James's, 4 away. Yeah. Is there enough? Is there enough in the squad? Is there enough in Eddie for us to have a strong finish after this? Do we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, as Steve Bruce used to say? And do we secure European football? Can we go on a run, or is the season done now?
No, he can't, because I tell you what, it'll be a nightmare to play at St James Park if the next couple of games they've got 2 weeks, is it, with the international, and then they've got
a couple of weeks off. Yeah.
Eddie Howe's got to get them in, and he's got to go right. By the way, this is as important as it's ever been for Eddie Howe and the players. They have to put a run in. They have to show that they care, because if they just let this season run out and you get the players just going, like you said, well, we're just waiting for World Cup, and they don't care, and we finish below, sort of like below middle. I'm telling you now, our owners will not be happy with that. They won't understand. This is how I see it. They won't understand how good Eddie is, because they will go, hang on a bit, we're out of Europe, we've lost all these games. I think they'll forget of just how good Eddie is. And this is what I'm saying. He needs it. He needs to finish in Europe in any capacity.
So if we don't, we're 12th at the moment. If we finish the season anywhere below 9th, you think Eddie's gone because of the owners?
No, he's not gone. He's not gone, but he's under massive pressure.
No?
Massive pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah, if he finishes,
I just wanted to make sure I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
No, definitely not got me, because he will. He has to stay. He has to be part of it. But it's a different way of going into it, and if like I say, if he finishes like you said and just peters out, and then the owners will be going, right, let's start looking for if it all goes tits up next year. But that last thing you want is that hanging over Eddie's, because they're not going to be happy if we're not in Europe. I'm telling you, no chance.
None of us will be, Bez.
I know, yeah.
That's
exactly.
That's the bottom line, isn't it? We're all licking our wounds today. John, listen, it's been brilliant catching up with you. Thank you for giving us the scoop from inside St James's Park and your own excellent insight. Really do appreciate it. Look, this was the show we didn't want to record. This time last week, we felt we were going to beat Barcelona, and we were convinced we were going to beat Sunderland. That didn't happen. In fact, it's been a tough week. We're with you. We know how you feel. We appreciate that some of you will thoroughly disagree with our view that Eddie has to stay, but you've heard it from 3 legends from the club. They all feel, I think, the same. If you don't, fair play to you. Much respect. You're a fan. You're allowed your view, and I'm not saying you're wrong. We've had a tough run. We just got to back the lads to put it right. We've got 7 games to do that, and then a big summer ahead. Thank you for your company. Thank you for staying with Adopted Geordies. Please keep your comments coming in via Instagram, via YouTube, via TikTok, via Spotify, and so on. We read them all. We see them all.
I read them all.
Yeah, Rob's well into
There'll be
it.
a few people disagreeing with me, and
It's all part of the fun. It's all part
everyone's
of the
got
fun.
an opinion.
Listen, we're all on the same side here. So we'll see you, I believe. We'll be back next week, Rob.
We will.
Catch you then.
Cheers.
Well, now the dust has settled, I am willing to talk about the calamity, the train wreck of intergalactic proportions that was the derby. We got outthought. Eddie got outthought, but we have a psychological issue. When we go ahead, we seem to just have a mental breakdown. We don't know how to be the winning team. We only know how to be the plucky underdog, intensity as identity, put all the pressure on. But as soon as we go ahead, or as soon as it feels like things might go our way, we just seem to collapse. And that's the psychological issue. And I don't know if we need to hire a psychologist at the club. I don't know if Eddie needs to do better team talks, but I know that's a massive issue facing him and the club. And if we want to be an elite club and he wants to be an elite manager, we need to get on top of that. Everything else around the game, a nightmare. Northumbria police failed in their duty. One of our fans, racist. Bruno got swine flu or something. It's actually kind of, if not morbidly depressing, hilarious at the same time. And the final thing I would say is there are a lot of places we can lay blame for the double. A 19-year-old girl upset her dad is facing that much flack is not one of them. And we as a city and we as people should be better. But there's no excuse for it. And next season has to be the double over them. Otherwise, that wrong is not right. This is 19 in a row, I think. With the exception of that one with Mitrovic, 19 in a row. That's now them. They are the all-time winners of the derby. That can't happen. That simply cannot happen. It's shocking. Eddie going isn't necessarily going to fix that. But by God, does it need to be fixed next season?